Hi, I'm Michael Marin. At Holy Name Medical Center, we believe that all citizens need to be informed about the important healthcare issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Educating the college student of today, next on Caucus, New Jersey.
Funding for this edition of Caucus, New Jersey has been provided by Wells Fargo, Holy Name Medical Center in Teaneck, New Jersey. Healing begins here. Choose New Jersey. Our mission is attracting companies to the Garden State. The New Jersey Education Association. NJM, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and more, with a focus on safety and financial stability. NJ Best, New Jersey's 529 College Savings Plan. Turn a dream into a degree. And by Verizon Communications. Promotional support provided by NJ.com. Small news, big news, true Jersey. And by Commerce Magazine.
Welcome to Caucus, New Jersey. I'm Steve Adubato. College presidents face a range of complex and difficult challenges. Here in the studio to discuss the state of higher education, we have our good friend, all of them are good friends, Rich Levao, president of Bloomfield College, and Prisco, president of Felician College, Kaye Walter, who is the president of Bergen Community College, and finally, Dario Cortes, president of Berkeley College. I want to thank all of you for joining us. Let's talk about the state of higher education. What would you say, Ariane, I'm putting you on the spot, all right? It'll happen to all of you. Number one challenge you face today as a president is?
Making education relevant in 2014.
What do you mean relevant?
Well, our new strategic plan is called 21st Century Education Based on Timeless Values. So what I've always said is what higher ed is all about is what we teach and how we teach. And we have to constantly look at those two things.
Relevant. Rich, relevant, because you have an interesting student body. I'm going to give you all a chance to describe your student body. Relevant.
We try to address that by the comprehensive college model, which includes both pre-professional and pre-vocational programs on one hand, and the core liberal arts curriculum on the other.
Give us an example of one or the other.
One would be nursing, pre-professional program. Core would be philosophy, music, art. And we think that a full college education must now emphasize both areas.
Dario, biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge, I think, for many of us is persistence, retention, and graduation. You know, students need to graduate, get jobs in the marketplace, and
right.
You're getting involved in dynamic careers. And I think unless they finish, they're not going to enjoy that. So to me, it's critical that our students finish.
And yours is a 2-year college. The other colleges are, and yours is a
2 and 4. We
2 and 4. You have both.
Associate degrees in the baccalaureate.
But all challenges. Biggest challenge for you, Kaye?
The biggest challenge, I think, Steve, is trying to figure out how not only to retain students and help them be successful, but how to do that in an affordable manner. As our funding has been cut and diminishes, as enrollments start to decline in the state, so do revenue streams, how do you support students? How do you take students who need lots and lots of help and assistance?
You mean remedial help?
Remedial help, but some of it's social help. How do you support them in understanding what it's like to be a college student? That requires additional...
You have to actually help students understand what it's like to adjust to college life?
If you have never had a family member who's been to college, who has not told you what college life is like, who hasn't prepared you for college, how are you going to know?
And that is the case for a fair,
All of us.
Oh, let's go through this. For many of your students, they are the first in their family?
54%.
First generation, first in their family, Rich?
80% at least.
80%, Dario?
Yeah, large majority.
Yeah.
Large majority.
Large
And
majority.
I bet we were. I was first gen in my family go
Wow.
to college.
So are you particularly sensitive then to it?
I think so, because I saw the difference between what it was like for me and what it's like for my sons. So they grew up in a household where their mom was always in school. I was always going to school. I worked in a school.
Right.
So for them, it was very different than for me.
The issue of readiness being ready.
Exactly.
Rich, we've had this conversation, Dario, as well. Let's talk about it. Because it's, in some ways, we're talking about college or higher education. But wait a minute. Isn't it a fact that many of you, if not all of you, are interacting with high schools and high school students to get them ready to even come into your school?
Well, you know, that's one of the issues in New Jersey, probably as strongly as any other state in the union. We have two basic K-12 systems, those in the wealthier suburbs and those in the inner cities.
Right.
Some of those in the more wealthy areas, Mendham and Tenafly and Princeton and the like, are among the best high school systems in the world. And
Those kids are ready.
They are ready. They go to Europe every year for vacation. They go to prep schools. They have the advantage of everything this amazing cultural megalopolis has to offer for them. And other students are students from very difficult backgrounds, not only the first person in their family to go to school, but many of them don't have both a mother and father. Some have neither. Some come from environments where violence is a nightly problem. And they come somewhat shell-shocked to college, and they need to find a way to sit back, think contemplatively, and work on difficult college material, which is a hard lesson for a lot of kids to take.
But hold on, but also beyond the social and emotional pieces that Rich describes, just academically being ready.
Skills.
Skill
development
But is
remains
that
a
the role of
problem.
a college
Right.
to get a high school student ready to come into your college at Berkeley? Go ahead, Dario.
I'm talking about readiness. It's not only high school students. I think, you know, we see in the demographics in the nation and New Jersey are changing dramatically. You know, 50% of our students are older. You know, military veteran students, online students, the students who are community college transfers. You know, we have a
So-called
great program.
non-traditional?
I would call it non-traditional students. There's 31 million incompleters in this country. Those students who enter at any time in their career to go to college, they never finish. Those are the
How
students.
many?
31 million is the numbers that the research indicates. For us, it's a challenge because they're not high school students. We do have a significant, 50% or so. But the other greater challenge for us is the ability to get the students with prior learning experience, prior learning assessment, ability to fast track their graduation. And affordability is all about how quickly you can finish.
Yes.
The sooner you finish, the less you're going to pay. So the creativity and tuition models and transforming, our business models in order to make it affordable and to make it successful for the students.
Is there a direct correlation from your perspective, Kaye? I'm listening to Dario, I'm just listening to all of you. Is there a direct correlation between the degree to which a student is ready to enter a higher institution of higher learning and his or her likelihood of completing that experience?
This year, Rochelle Hendricks set aside some money
In the state
for
of New Jersey, who heads up the higher education operation.
Correct. She set aside some money for college readiness and allowed a lot of us to pilot some programs to see if we could help prepare students to transition into college.
Right.
We had started a pilot program 2 years ago where we took students from our 4 largest feeder schools. We put them through a summer transition program, and lo and behold, the retention rate now 2 years later for that student population is 80.5%. Our regular retention rate is 69%. These were all strongly at-risk students who were said to be not college ready.
So what do we do with that information?
Well, we're continuing to run pilots. We are increasing the number of students that we serve because that information is telling us if we can meet the students where they are, help them transition from their high school into college level work, that they'll be successful.
Right.
But what are the pieces, and help us on this, as Kaye's talking about, what are the pieces in a solid college readiness program? What are you doing?
So statistically, it's absolutely true. The more prepared of the high school you come from, the likelihood you're going to complete college. If your parents went to college, if you come from a higher, the statistics are solid. So the struggle for us is how do we even the playing field for those that come in disadvantaged? And it's all about the things that are expensive to do. Small classes, support, bringing them in the summer. So you have to have teachers, you have to have them in the dorms, you need counselors to supervise them. And there's no funding for those things. So when we have a summer program, the college is literally just carrying the cost ourselves because we do that also with our underprepared students.
So there's not that much government funding public support for those kinds of programs, Dario?
Generally, but they're not. It really is our own resources putting, at Berkeley College we have a Jump Start for students as a bridge program, Bridge to Success, very similar in nature to transition the student to, the first year experience is so critical in higher education. We're doing something very similar that you do at Bergen Community College in a mentoring program. We took about 150 first-time, full-time students or more, and we put a mentoring program where they have a student success coordinator working with them 24/7.
What does that do for them, Dario?
Oh, incredible. It's a bit the social aspects of it, the emotional ones, the ability to interact, to participate, to track them throughout the system. It's not in the classroom. It's really what happens is out of the classroom. It's what happens when they go home.
Students who are focused will find a lot of help in any of our schools to help them succeed. We've eliminated all of our remedial programs at the college. We've embedded them into credit-giving courses so that students are taking courses with embedded tutors.
Explain how that works.
Well, you start a class in organic chemistry, a topic that we were talking about before the program began.
Is that what? Hold on, folks.
My favorite
The only
subject.
public television will tell you this. We have 4 of the best and the brightest college presidents sitting around talking about what?
Organic chemistry, the reason I became a lawyer, because after organic chem, I knew I'd never become a doctor.
Was that? Okay, I got it.
All right.
That's
But
what you're
you
talking
take a
about.
course such as that.
Okay,
Say
where would
20
the
people in
remedial
the class.
piece be in there?
There'd be a student, it could be mathematics, it could be chemistry, fundamentals of chemistry. You have someone who is either an upper level person or a teaching assistant who is sitting in with the students, who is the in-class mentor, who works individually with the
part of
students
the
who are having
course?
as part of the course.
You build it in.
Right, rather than have them go to a separate remedial program before classes begin. Because one thing we found is that in schools that have increasingly large remedial programs, you create 2 colleges under a single roof. The students who are taking remedial courses and the students who are there getting their credits toward the degree. And that's ultimately destructive.
There's a devil's advocate question that cries out to be asked, and that's this, and I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about it as you watch. Isn't it the job of our high schools to get
Of course it is.
students ready for college? I know that, isn't that what we're paying for? I mean, I know it sounds simplistic, Kaye, and I'll just move around.
It's all of our jobs.
Yeah,
It's all- that's what
We're all in the pipeline for student success. It's all of our jobs. We are to be working in community colleges, not only with our K through 12 partners, but with our university partners as well.
Yeah.
So it's too simplistic to say, oh, that's what high schools do. They get kids ready to go to college. Too simplistic.
You got to work together. K through 12 needs to work with higher education. I think we work well. An example is our top scholarship program, the transfer opportunity program with Berkeley and the community colleges. We provide the funding. We want to get a proven graduate from a community college to come in, and our graduation rate for the students coming from that program is in the 80% level. So that what it does is a partnership between 2 sectors of higher ed, making a difference to make the path for the students seamless.
Let me try this. I'm going to shift gears because there's so many topics I want to raise, but I think people are going to be, I'm confident people will be interested in this. The whole rethinking of the way you graduate college. How many credits, how many credits is 120?
Yeah, pretty much.
Approximately 24,
Ish.
130. Yeah.
Okay, so, Rich, is there a real discussion taking place from changing the paradigm, the model, from you need 120 credits to you need to establish some degree of competency around a certain subject area?
Yes.
Talk
The question
about
is, how do you document that? In the past, the basic currency was the bachelor's degree, and then master's and doctorate, whatever else may come thereafter. But now people are talking about breaking it into smaller chunks, certificate programs, where students demonstrate proficiency in job-relatable experiences, whether it's in psychology or in criminal justice. And they may come back multiple times during their lives, adding certificates until they add up to a bachelor's degree, which is called certificate stacking. Discussions about
certificate
stacking.
You like that?
I have mixed feelings about it. I'm willing to work on it. I'm willing to look at it.
What are the pros and cons? Go ahead.
For example, somebody may be going for a bachelor's degree, let's say psychology, and after taking 1 or 2 years of basic psychology, gets a certificate that enables him or her to get a job in that field. It could be working in prisoner rehabilitation, for example, but wants to go on for a bachelor's degree and will do so later. That's particularly beneficial to people who have very modest financial resources. That will never be the model at Princeton. That will never be the model at Cornell, but it could well be the model at some of the schools here now and give students greater flexibility to develop. Give me one statistic that I mentioned in a prior program. During the last recession, 1 out of 100 college graduates lost his job or her job.
Okay.
1 out of 10 who did not have any college lost his or her job. The difference in terms of prosperity and stability and family growth and stability for the next generation given by a college degree is enormous. And the question is it worth it? And the answer is try doing without it.
You did that on Capital Report just to plug our other, because I'll do anything to plug another series. Let's go back to the issue. Credit-based, competency-based.
Competency. You know, when you look again, the point I made earlier regarding adult students, I think if you have an individual who has worked for 20 years in an industry, having to come back to school to take English 101 and philosophy 101, it doesn't make any sense. So the ability for that student to take prior learning assessment by portfolio, by testing, there are a number of ways. We at Berkeley College combine with CAL, it's an organization in Washington that provides credit by prior learning assessment. And what it does, again, it creates an opportunity for that student to really focus. The research indicates that the students who go through prior learning graduate much earlier. And the competency-based degrees, very few actually around the country. I think, what's the one that is very well known? It escapes me right now.
Me too.
That one.
Yes. It's not seat time. In other words, it's not seat time, it's competency.
It's competency.
But doesn't that make more sense on the graduate level, Dario, than it does undergraduate?
Why? Because a lot of not at all. We have a lot of students who don't have degrees. A lot of citizens in this country who don't have advanced degrees. They don't have baccalaureate degrees. They don't have associate degrees. No.
And so you don't see. Do you see a big difference between the graduate and undergraduate when it comes to competency versus credit?
No, I think it's a matter of maturity. So I think sometimes younger students, it's like online versus in the classroom. We're finding that younger students actually
Our next topic, but go ahead.
They benefit from the discipline of being in the classroom, the socialization of being in the classroom. When someone's not a non-traditional, they're an adult, the idea of the flexibility, sometimes they want seat time, sometimes they want to be online, benefits them.
I've often said this, Kaye and I was actually just on your campus recently doing a seminar, and
And the students are still talking about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Our students
I was joking, I heard you. I'm sorry.
And much of it was good, Steve.
Rich, you're supposed to be our friend. But you know what I found interesting is that the whole question of, we all have our own teaching approach. And I've been honored to be able to teach at different institutions of higher learning. But I can't even comprehend the idea of an online situation for myself, all right? So here's the question when it comes to online learning versus, and we've had this discussion, Dario, a lot because you're big in this area.
We're big on that.
I know. Yeah. In terms of online versus in-class learning, does it depend upon the student? Because it doesn't work for me as an educator. A, are there a fair number of educators who want to do this? And B, does it work for most students?
It doesn't work for most students. It works for students who like learning that way. There are lots of different learning styles. When I talk to students, most of them want a person, and they want to be in the room with a person. I, on the other hand, love online learning.
You love it.
I love it.
What do you love about it?
I love the discussions that you can have online. I love the new people that you can meet all across the country. It's more like a global community.
It is hard to get them all in one place. So you love it.
I love it.
Dario, you love it.
I love it. We're doing, Berkeley College has been doing this for over 18 years. It's not for everybody, but once you get a taste of it, and you get an experience of how to use online, how to engage in learning, and the ability for faculty. It takes two, as like in the classroom, teaching and learning. You've got to have a trained faculty member with the ability to engage and use the technology, as well as the student who's disciplined enough to engage in that learning process, 24/7 with a system, it'd be Blackboard or whatever the system we use.
Right.
But we find the adult student prefers the flexibility, the ability to do it at any time, in any place, anywhere, while they're traveling, when they're going to work, when they're coming at night, when they're taking care of the children.
But is it virtually impossible, I'll come back to you, is it virtually impossible these days, Rich, to have a comprehensive, successful higher education institution without online learning?
It's very difficult. It depends on the institution. The University of Vermont
have it.
might. We have it, certainly. We have courses that are part online, what they call hybrid courses.
Yes.
You meet once a week in the classroom, and then there's a session that's online. Learning is an interactive process. It's not sitting there taking notes. And after 150,000 years as Homo sapiens, we've learned to work in groups, to learn from one another, to learn from mentors. And that's something you can't overcome simply because you can look at a flat glowing screen and see that someone is talking.
Online
it's much
learning
different.
can work.
It can
And
work
does
if done
work.
properly. Yes, yes, it
Yes,
can.
and
Final
also,
comments on this before we talk about the cost of higher ed? Go ahead.
yeah, and I do think we have to, we're doing like everything else. Online learning is a very big spectrum of delivery. So you can have synchronous courses where your faculty person is live with you.
Oh,
so they're
really?
actually, yeah, I mean, I have a friend who teaches at Harvard in their graduate program. He has 30 students from around the world online with little faces, and they're all online at the same time taking the course.
Sees all of them.
Yes, so I think we have
That's
to be careful
interesting.
when we say online. There's a range.
It means a lot of different
yes,
things.
Yes, it could be a MOOC, which is you have
Yes.
thousands of people.
MOOC.
MOOC, massive online
In my own
open
neighborhood, a MOOC
network.
meant something. I knew you were going there.
Yeah, we're
never
going
mind.
there.
Let's
We're
leave
not
that
going
alone.
there.
It's like kids, right?
Yeah, right. Never mind. There's no problem with student debt, is there?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're
Oh,
right.
I take
You're right.
that one.
How bad?
1 trillion.
For individual students, average.
30.
25,000.
30.
How much?
25, 30,000.
30 is now the national
Are we
average.
doing anything to move in the right direction? I'll come back to you, and Dario.
Okay, no.
Absolutely. I just tell you what we're doing at Berkeley. One, we provide students with about over $44 million of institutional aid, one way to support. Second, we have the ability to provide reduction of fees. I'll give you an example. In one of our campuses, if the student stays in residence and housing
Right.
for 3 consecutive quarters, the summer is for free. So what it does is, it's less cost,
Right.
less impact on loan and debt, and the ability to graduate. Because if they stay in the summer, the chance that they come back in the fall
That's right.
is very likely. So the
Retention.
majority of our students, so it fits retention, affordability, and also it doesn't put them in jeopardy with student loans. So that's one example that we
Got
do.
it. Let's talk a little bit more about cost and the
So
debt.
this is my argument. If a student borrows $30,000, that's about $300 a month. And we go back to what is the benefit of higher education versus
Rich
the
just made it
cost.
clear in terms of
And so
jobs.
right. So we always hear about these $100,000 loan borrowers
Yes.
and the average student borrows $30,000. And I would say to any student, in the long run, you are better off borrowing that money and going to college and getting a degree, because in your lifetime, $300 a month you'll be able to pay versus not going. And that's what I'm afraid the argument is going towards. Well, students are borrowing so much, so it's better if they don't go to school. That's not the message we should be sending.
But Kaye, I appreciate what Ann's saying. We just did an interview with U.S. Senators Cory Booker, and I think you were actually there at the taping at NJPAC, and with Bob Menendez and Cory Booker. And Cory Booker was talking about the fact that I think Cory Booker is about 44, 45, and he was saying he has friends in their 30s and early 40s who went to college with. I guess he went to Stanford. We're Rutgers guys. That's a lesser school. So he talked about the fact that a lot of his friends are still paying off their student debt. Like that was a really bad thing. And saying, hey, wait a minute. It's a good deal. You say?
We like to keep our tuition levels low, and we are continuing to work to keep them low because we think having that much debt in today's economy is not a good thing.
So even though over time, as Ann says, come on, it's still a good deal, you say?
I say invest in your education, but keep the tuition levels low.
Right.
Our tuition's about $4,500 a year. For 2 years, that's a pretty good deal.
Rich, debt.
I'll tell you, Ed Blaustein was one of my mentors in higher education. You remember
Former
Ed very well.
president, Rutgers, the late
For
Ed Blaustein.
19 years, the late
Yes.
Ed Blaustein. He said
Longest-serving president.
He said the most expensive suit in Macy's is the one that costs the least, because it's the one that won't last you. So there's only so much you can do to bite down on cost and expense. You have to be sure that you have modern technology. When I went to school, the only computer at Rutgers was in Records Hall. They had 2 big spools of tape and used to do that. It's expensive having those. You need faculty who are among the best in their field. and that's expensive to have as well. You need to have a good library system. You need to have small classes. You need to have a convenient location. You need to have residence halls of students who want to live on campus.
But we still need to try to keep costs down, though, Rich.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You absolutely do. And I think higher education.
2 seconds, go ahead.
Okay, the net revenue in private colleges has not gone up in 5 years, corrected for inflation. Costs have gone up so that the net revenue, but it's insurance, it's lighting,
Got it.
all of these things press us from the bottom.
Okay, clearly this conversation is going to continue off the air. I can't imagine what our 4 college presidents are going to talk. What did you talk about before? Never mind.
Organic chemistry.
Organic chemistry. It will continue after this.
The preceding program has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. N13 for WNET, NJTV, and WHYY. Funding for this edition of Caucus New Jersey has been provided by Wells Fargo, Holy Name Medical Center, Choose New Jersey, the New Jersey Education Association, New Jersey Manufacturers, NJ Best, and by Verizon Communications. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. Caucus New Jersey has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.
When you work at a public school, you're a part of the community. So when Superstorm Sandy hit, the school employees jumped right in to help. The middle school here served as a refuge for people who were forced from their homes. We all pitched in to help. Custodians, cafeteria workers, teacher aides, mechanics, groundskeepers, all pitching in to help out. School employees are part of a team, whether it's to help educate our children or to recover from a terrible tragedy. That's why I'm so proud to be a member of the NJEA.